Hey, my local nursery farm stand has tons of herbs out, so I'm gonna grab a bunch for planting. Not too bad of a price. They're getting more and more expensive, so considering all the shipping costs this year, not too bad. Okay, so what I ended up with, 2 flats, one of Pansies and one of Viola. Oh, these little Johnny jump ups, they're so pretty. And then 2, I'm gonna just do the baskets and the bike for right now to dress it up a bit for Easter. And then of course all the herb starts. I like to support our local nurseries and farm stands. Keeps them in business, so I do a lot from seed, but I like to also do a lot of starts and things from my locals to keep them open. Hey everyone, I'm going to be zhuzhing up the back garden just a little bit with some pansies, violas, a lot of herbs, and working on the porch. I'll probably do it throughout the week. I'm gonna kind of take a few days off this week after tomorrow, which will be tax day, which I'm so glad to get that out of the way. With my businesses, it's quite a pain at this time of the year. It takes about 2 weeks. But anyway, I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. I'll just show you really quick, just give you kind of a quick video tour of what the back porch looks like. I'm gonna start here and then I'm gonna work my way down into the garden. We're gonna have a Easter egg hunt for the few kids that are gonna be here on Easter for our holiday party, and which I pretty much throw every year now because it's great in the garden. I'm not gonna open up the fountains yet. We'll do that on Easter, Easter weekend, and I'll get those open and running, so the kids can see them and everything. It looks nice back here as long as it doesn't freeze. Right now in the 10-day forecast, it looks like it's going to be about 57 degrees, which is great. Okay, so we'll get started. Okay, so it looks fairly typical of your back porch at this time of the year. Pots that you never got emptied, and old soil, which I didn't get out. I usually take it out, but I had some ivy in there that was still alive, so I didn't want to kill it. And it'll be perfect because I'm going to put a bunch of herbs in there, which like leaner soil. Then of course the chairs are stacked. We've had a lot of storms lately. All of the succulents and the pots are coming back, looking great, the hens and chicks. And then these pots, the evergreens, they just keep holding on. These little evergreens that are now getting so big. But I'm gonna just try to put some pansies around them at the bottom. But for the summer, I'm going to replant them. I hate to take them out because they're doing so good, but there is no room in there to plant. We'll see. I have a hard time taking out something that's alive. Sorry about the bungee cords. The storms around here are so bad that the porch sitters will not stay on the rails without them. And of course we have a Proven Winners rose. Absolutely gorgeous. Does really well through the winter. Blooms all the way up till November. All right, we'll get started. Oh, I haven't updated you in a bit on the potting shed. So 2 of the walls are up. We're just doing a brick type of paneling. We had this in our townhouse down in a converted basement into a den, and we loved it. So we decided to put it in here. The only thing I don't love is the way the seams connect. I don't know why they haven't fixed that, but they didn't. Ray has gotten the electric wired throughout, so we do have outlets in here. We'll have a charging station, and we got nice outlet covers and everything. And let's see, we have an outlet there. We have outlets on the other side over here. And yeah, we're going to use these paneling pieces up on the ceiling here and just kind of piece them in. And yeah, it'll eventually totally be finished, but I think it really goes well for a potting shed with the floor. I think it's going to look really nice. Obviously we have tools and everything in here right now and pieces. So yeah, but I wanted to give you an update since we didn't get this filmed. I was in Florida when he did the 2 walls and the wiring, so I wasn't able to film for you. But yeah, so this is the progress. Slowly but surely, it's getting done. Okay, so this is what I got done in here. I kind of lined the front of this little raised bed with some herbs. That Swiss chard from last year that just kind of popped back up. So we're gonna let that go. Or is it romaine? Now I'm looking at it. I never really took a close look. I think it's romaine now that I'm looking at it again. So I put the chives in there. I put a lavender plant because I use a lot of lavender. Sage. Some more parsley. This is oregano, Italian oregano. And as you see, I just rejuvenate the beds with composted cow manure. I know people worry about it burning, but this has extremely low. Once it's composted, it should not burn your plants. And you can see the numbers on it, very low. I have great luck with this stuff, black cow. So I just keep using what works. And then these are all the herbs that were growing all winter long. I just cut them back because they were huge and sticking out of the snow. But you see, they've been growing all year. I've been using them in all of my recipes. There's rosemary, there's sage. Sage plant's starting to look rough now. I gotta cut it back. Then we have more rosemary, different type of rosemary. We have some variegated sage here. And then curly leaf parsley that I have plucked to 1 inch of its life, but it is coming back and looking extremely healthy. So yeah, so I just topped this also off with some black cow. Not so much to feed them, but because the soil level drops so low in these types of raised beds, to act as a compost and also act as more soil for them to grow in. Otherwise, they'll have nothing for the roots to be in. So yeah, I got a lot more done than I was expecting. And this is obviously right outside my kitchen, this window basket. So I think it's 5.5 feet long. And I decided this year for spring to put edibles in. So I have herbs in here. This is just your common flat leaf, parsley, violas, pansies, which are edible. The flowers, they look absolutely beautiful on top of cakes or in salads. And then the columbine flowers. Now, there is some debate over whether columbine is edible or not. So use your own discretion. It's absolutely beautiful. But as far as I've always known that the columbine flower is edible, you just don't want to eat its roots and stems. But double check before you ever eat anything and just use your own discretion of what you're comfortable with. I usually just take the stamens out, but I believe that the stamens are also edible, but I take them out just in case and just use the flowers. I've never had a problem or digestive upset. So yeah, so these are all, oh, and I also put a couple of lavender plants in here because I figure once the columbine is done, the lavender will probably start blooming come June. And then I'll just replace all the pansies probably with a more summer flower or maybe just more herbs. I haven't decided yet. It's just a little touch of spring. It's too cold. Our frost date is May 15th, so it's too early to, and I normally will plant everything, even annuals, at the beginning of April, but then I have to go out several times and cover them up for the frost that we get. So I just don't have time to do that this year. And then I'm not sure if this lavender plant is alive. So I just put little pots in there, as you saw, around it, because I don't give up on a plant until I absolutely have to. I still have to clean up the strawberry plant, but that's for another day. This lavender plant is coming alive. But I have I think 3 types of lavender, and 2 of the types are still dormant, so you can't tell until they come out of dormancy. And then I just kept this simple and just did pansies towards the back and violas because they're smaller towards the front. And I think that it looks really sweet. And again, I'm just trying to add little touches of color for where we can put the Easter eggs in. And I'll be working on the herbaceous border and getting some flowers. Sorry, I got some pollen in my throat. And this was really fast. I just put 2 pansy hanging baskets. I got a really good buy on them. And put them into the already existing baskets that I had on the bike. And then this basket, the apple basket, which is fairly well rotted, still has perennials in it, so I just plucked in some violas and pansies. Or are they all violas? I think they're all violas. All pansies are violas, I believe, but not all violas are pansies. So I think that the viola is the parent plant, that they were all derived from pansies. So looks pretty cute for really being just a really quickie. They look planted and really turned out cute. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with how that bike held up all through the season. I do have to get the basket cleaned out of leaves though still. So I'll get that done later in the week. And then a couple bonuses. I got the screen room all set up. I was having a little bit of problem figuring out how to put the couch cushions together. We move everything into the center to keep the local cats off of it, although they still would push them down, and I'm gonna have to get in there and scrub the cushions. And I still have to, maybe put a couple pots of pansies up on the top of the table. And then I just pluck this in here for now. Okay, so here's what I'm left with. I still have all of these pansies left and violas. I only bought 2 flats, so 2 flats can go really far if you don't overpack them. And believe it or not, in a week, they're going to start to fill in, and this basket is actually going to start looking more abundant. I don't really worry too much about that. I just wanted to be cheerful and happy. And for spring flowers, I always like to try to stay on a budget. So I'll have some for the herbaceous border. I may get 1 more flat for in the actual gardens, but I'm not sure. We have a pretty decent amount left. So I'll be able to spread them, although I do want to put a couple pots on the table. So yeah, I might get 1 more flat. But you see how far that's gone. And I have all that left. I probably have, let me see, probably 3/4 of a flat left. I can really spread them out. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. I'm a little tired, so I'm just gonna get cleaned up. I did more than I thought. I got a lot more done than I was expecting. So we'll probably give you another update before Easter on what's going on in the garden, and just keep adding more touches. I have more of those pansies to plant, and I'll start working on jazzing up the herbaceous border a bit for spring. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.